Jaime Lannister is an incestuous Kingslayer. So how in the seven hells is Criston Cole worse? Hello and welcome to Jessie Bear Book Club. Today we are talking about who is worse, Criston Cole or Jaime Lannister? The most important question when it comes to Kingsguard in the Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon universe. Of course, there are worst Kingsguard out there. Brown Ben Plum's ancestor springs to mind, but we're not going to go there. We're just focusing on Criston Cole and Jaime Lannister. So, who is worse, Criston Cole or Jaime Lannister? Now, at first glance, it seems an easy answer. Jaime Lannister is an incestuous Kingslayer who is morally questionable and literally pushed a child out a window. So, it's surely Jaime. He wins worst Kingsguard. Wrong. Because when you actually compare the two, I think Criston Cole is worse, and I'm going to explain why. Cole slept with a queen and a princess. Let's start with something both these men have in common. Criston Cole and Jaime Lannister both broke their Kingsguard vows by having sex with royalty. But here's the difference. Jaime had sex with one queen. Cole slept with Rhaenyra, but then also slept with Alicent, the Dowager Queen. So he has a princess and a Dowager Queen. I'm just going to chalk that up as two queens. So if we're keeping score, Jaime has one royal, whereas Cole has two. Notches on his belt. No matter what way you look at this, Cole's relationship crossed the princess, Dowager Queen line. Still, both men are violating their I swear to be celibate and serve the crown vow, but at this point, Cole has two marks against him and Jaime only has one. This next one is pretty straightforward. Kingsguard are supposed to be incredibly loyal, honor-bound knights who dedicate their lives to protecting the royal family. Both these idiots basically looked at that vow and said, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Jaime breaks his vow by having his relationship with Cersei. Criston Cole breaks his vow by sleeping with Rhaenyra and then Alicent. So again, both these men are guilty, but this is where things start to get interesting. Jaime commits incest. Criston Cole may be a terrible person, but at least he is not sleeping with his own sister. Jaime spends years having a relationship with Cersei, his twin sister, and they have 3 children together, putting the status of the crown as heir in jeopardy, to say the least. This is pretty significant when you think of the royal succession and is a major strike against Jaime. So Cole gets absolutely demolished because he slept with a princess and a dowager queen, but Jaime gets a big strike against him for sleeping with his sibling and putting the royal succession in jeopardy. So at the moment, these two men are tied for who is worse. But I think Criston Cole is simply less likable. And honestly, that matters because Jaime Lannister is a horrible person at times, but Jaime is interesting, funny, charismatic, sarcastic, and he is actually capable of admitting when he has done something wrong. And most importantly, Jaime's character arc is brilliant. Whereas Criston Cole, well, he's Criston Cole. A lot of his character boils down to Rhaenyra rejected me and now I'm going to be extremely angry about this for the next several years. And I'm sorry, but that's not exactly helping his case. Jaime at least has moments where you're watching him and thinking, okay, I understand why you did this. Like when he throws Bran out of the window. He does it to protect himself, the love of his life, which happens to be his sister, and their children. He does it to protect his family, who he loves. And I can understand that. I might not do it, but I get it. Whereas you're looking at Criston Cole and thinking, get over her, mate. So I'm going to give Cole another strike against him. Jaime Lannister actually has his own honor code. Now, this is where things get seriously interesting, because yes, Jaime breaks his Kingsguard vows. Yes, he commits incest. Yes, he does some absolutely horrific things, but Jaime Lannister does have his own personal sense of honour. The famous example of this is Jaime killing the Mad King. Jaime is remembered as a Kingslayer because he killed the king. He swore to protect. But the reason he did that was because Aerys was planning to burn down King's Landing and kill thousands of innocent people in the process. Jaime sacrificed his reputation to stop this horrific genocide. And that's one of the most interesting things about his character. He doesn't necessarily follow the rules, but he does have his own code of honor, just like his brother Tyrion, who we all love. Criston Cole, on the other hand, his entire moral compass seems to be, did this person hurt my feelings? If the answer is yes, congratulations, you are now Criston Cole's mortal enemy. So I'm giving another strike against Criston Cole. Cole gets incredibly bitter after Rhaenyra rejects him, and this is probably the biggest reason I think Criston Cole is worse. Criston falls in love with Rhaenyra. This is really sweet. Fair enough, we all fall in love. He asks her to run away with him, and she says no. And instead of processing those feelings like a normal adult, Cole's relationship with Rhaenyra turns into years of bitterness, and he starts a coup with the Greens, which leads to a civil war, which pretty much destroys the Seven Kingdoms, leads to the death of the dragons in the known world, and brings down House Targaryen in the end. Now, obviously, there is more to Cole's character than being a guy with hurt feelings, but let's be honest, it's very funny that one of the most powerful Kingsguard in Westeros basically has a decades-long villain arc starting a massive civil war because a princess wouldn't run away with him. Imagine thinking, fine, I'll dedicate the rest of my life to ruining your life and your family's life for generations to come. Please, Criston Cole, go to therapy. I'm glad he's dead in this new season. But they didn't make his death as lackluster as I wanted it to be. But maybe we're being unfair to Cole. There's one major problem with my entire argument. We don't get a Criston Cole POV. And that matters because with Jaime, we spend a huge amount of time inside his head. We understand his motivation, we understand his guilt, we understand his relationship with Cersei and his feelings for his children. We understand how much the Kingslayer reputation affected him. Criston Cole doesn't get the same treatment. So maybe we are judging him more harshly because we're seeing him from the outside. Maybe there's more going on in his head than we realize. And that is something I have tried to keep in mind. So, let's add everything up. Criston Cole, 5 strikes against him. Jaime Lannister, 2 strikes against him. And honestly, I think that's fair. Jaime is obviously capable of some terrible things, but Jaime is much more complex as a character. He's got his own sense of honor. He's capable of changing. He's charismatic. And most importantly, we actually understand why he does the things he does. Criston Cole, he's got the Kingsguard vows. He's got 2 royal beauties under his belt. And he's got his bitterness. And he's got what appears to be an enormous grudge. So, in conclusion, Criston Cole is worse than Jaime Lannister. And if Criston Cole disagrees, well, maybe he should stop being a little bitch. Just saying. But that's just my opinion. Who do you think is worse, Criston Cole or Jaime Lannister? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon content. I have a huge playlist talking about the A Song of Ice and Fire world. I also have comparison videos with other George R. R. Martin characters and the Iron King series, which inspired Game of Thrones to begin with. So if you enjoyed this video, subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye! Don't break your Kingsguard vows!